My name is Rakesh Parthasarathy, and my research is about development of information logistics reference model, and my supervisor is Professor Kirkova. And information logistics is used to provide the right information at the right place in the right time and the right quality, and it is used to manage the information flow within organizations or within any number of organizations, and it is related to the information management, information operations and information technology. And the research problem and goal. The problem in logistics domain, there is an effective framework for goods and transport, but there is no general framework related to the information logistics. And my goal is to develop a framework for information logistics and to apply this reference model for two scenarios, namely student studies and graduating in university, and a product manufacturing in industry. This research task is the development of simplified information logistics framework model, application of the developed framework to student studies and graduation program, and product manufacturing in industry. Research methods. The formal idea of information logistics framework is to provide a right method for sourcing information, processing information and delivering information. And SCORE, which is nothing but the SCORE supply chain operational reference model, deals with the business management activities, and this model is used for goods and supply chain activities. And it has 5 major processes such as plan, source, make, deliver and return. But this information logistics framework deals with information consisting of methods, how the information can be sourced, processed and delivered. And this model consists of several levels and is organized in the stages like information source, information process and information delivery. The analogy developed from the SCORE model and the information logistics framework model is that it deals with the goods, whereas information logistics deals with the information to provide the right information flow in an organization. And this information logistics framework model sourced from the method. These are the advertising methods which can be sourced for information processing. Like these are the methods like they provide product information and the organization informations that try to promote their companies through these methods. And consumer information processing, which is nothing but there are some methods to follow to process an information based on consumer, like preserving information based on the raw data received from the sourcing. The actions can be performed based on information processed, and the new information can be created. And these content delivery approaches are like HTTP redirection and internet protocol redirection. And the sourcing from knowledge, source from knowledge. The knowledge can be sourced between the knowledge provider and the knowledge seeker, and these are the many methods like one knowledge provider and the many knowledge seekers. And perceptual information processing is the conceptualization where the perception can be generated with the fuzzy sets or multiple sets. And information survey delivery method like in-person structured interview, web survey, and telephonic interview, the survey can be conducted. And source from interview, these methods provide sourcing interview techniques like behavioral based interview where the candidate's abilities, capabilities and experience particular information are being sourced, and case interviews where the candidate is given with particular task and has to analyze and give recommendations for the particular scenario. And we have the interview information processing methods like connecting like obtaining information sample from the application, seeing that whether the information is relevant to the application, and finally the overall rating is given for the evaluating judgment. And this interview result can be delivered through face-to-face, telephonic and email, which is a formal approach used to deliver the information. And data warehouse, searching source data from the data source, multiple sources like operational data and external sources. And organization activities, the activities performed in an organization where the data can be generated from those activities. It can be sourced for a data warehouse operation. And this information processing like extraction, in which the data source can be extracted from these multiple sources and organization activities, and it has initial extraction, change data extraction. In the transformation, it deals with the data cleaning, confirmation, and transformation of those methods, and loading new tables and fact tables, dimension tables, and even the end user applications application systems can access those extraction data, transformation data in dimensional structure, and data information delivery in data warehouse is possible through ad hoc report generation. Query can be generated from the data warehouse. And source from e-learning, through this learning management system, the information can be sourced, like acquiring information and exchanging information, sharing information. The information can be acquired through this learning management system. And these are the delivery methods in the e-learning basis, where lecture through lecture, one-to-one tutorial, and many things. And blended learning is nothing but a classroom environment with the LED facility and one instructor. And source from the internet, where the information can be being sourced from mining, which is being the document either like resumes or official documents of an organization. X-raying is nothing but taking a view at a particular website which provides a useful information, and web information processing, which provides the data can be downloaded directly from the website, or it can be downloaded by browsing data using the web crawler. And web form processing method, the application can be submitted through the web form. The information delivery methods are push approach and pull approach, and the information can be pushed from the server to the user based on the request, and the information can be pulled from the server based on the purpose of the information required. So, application of information logistics framework in student studies and graduation in university. Like I've choose those methods related to the student scenario. Like the student gets sourcing information from university web pages and newspapers, and those student search information by browsing, and student download information from university website, and he can submit the application form using the web form in the university web page. And these applications can be delivered through using pull approach. And the source from interview, using the behavioral based interview, the candidate's details are being sourced, and the interview information processing steps like the student application details are considered and observed, and then from obtaining information sample like relevant information that the background studies of a student is obtained, and retrieval sample, and these applications are stored for the future purpose, and these entire applications are evaluated and given the final result through email for the student. And these sources can provide students for educational purposes, like online discussion groups where the professor and the student can discuss and provide information, and source from knowledge where the faculty and a many number of students provide information, and e-learning system through learning management system we can source information, and multiple sources like in this case I could choose foreign students department and the faculty where they provide sourcing information to the students, where the student login portal information access materials are referred to as extraction, where they can extract materials from those systems, sourcing systems, and it can conduct examination level results evaluation or can refer to the transformation. And these reports are generated using the loading, and finally the student can generate their own reports from the data, own reports through this delivery method. And this is a thread diagram for the student university scenario. Like we have the student application stage, student intake stage, and student graduation stage, and it is represented in the form of thread diagram. And these are all the sub processes to form the combination of to have a delivery. And the results obtained using this framework and the scenario is that experimental by which information flow for student studies and graduation, which methods for sourcing information is provided to the student, and processing methods for an activity of a student to perform, and the methods from which the information is delivered to the student are analyzed using this IL framework. And the next framework is applied for product manufacturing industry. Based on the marketing demand, the product is manufactured in this case. So I would like to, based on the product information, design and specifications being sourced through newspapers and web pages, where the dealers, where the marketing team tries to analyze these informations, provide a query report based on the for future developments of their product. And these queries generate source from the different dealers to the manufacturing companies, and those manufacturing companies try to analyze the feedbacks of the product so that they could have a proper promotion in the market. And this information can be obtained through in-person survey, where the product feedback information can be conducted through the product. And the source from data warehouse. Here the multiple sourcing is nothing but the external suppliers and the partner companies and the organizational activities, like activities performed in an organization. The data can be generated in the case. And this extraction, in the sense the product is designed in this purpose, where the product is designed based on the extraction of data from sourcing data from these multiple sourcing methods, and the storing manufactured product is stored using the loading technique, and the ad hoc report generation is generated through the product design documentation. And this is a thread diagram for product manufacturing industry, where it has a marketing demand stage. It has a following process like strategic planning and manufacturing process, and finally the product is delivered with the product specifications and the documentation. And results obtained using this framework for this scenario is that operations performed during manufacturing of your product or the methods are amended from the information logistics framework, and this customer feedback is analyzed and manufacturing of a product is performed using specific methods stated in the framework, and methods are adapted based on the situation of industry operations to successfully manufacture and deliver to customers with new specifications and designs of a product. In conclusion, the information logistics reference model is designed in such a way to explain the flow of information in an organization. For each and every level, various methods are utilized and functions are described, and the methods are taken into an account in such a way to show the flow of information which is suitable for the organizational activity. Information logistics framework can help to handle the information flows in an organization or among the organizations, and in future the information logistics framework could be extended by information planning activities for sourcing, processing and delivering the information. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Please